As I said in an earlier video today, there's really only two places to live in a van or your car. That's the desert in the west, or if you're in the east coast, in the woods, in the forest. Okay, so let's take the west, the desert. You're living in your van, you're living in your car in the desert. Cheap to no rent. Wonderful. That's why you're living in your car, your van, so you don't have to pay rent. So now you're out there in the desert. You're 30 miles from anything, from civilization. Okay, you're sitting there in your chair in the sun, in the dry desert. Now what do? What do you do all day? Well, I guess if you're a road warrior, you're working from your van, doing work on your laptop. Well, that can occupy you all day. But then what do you do when your work day's over? What do you do on the weekend? You're out there in the desert. Nothing's easy to get to. I mean, what are you going to do? Pack up your van, and if you want to go in town to get a McDonald's sandwich, take a break from your own cooking, pack up your van, and drive it 30 miles to the nearest McDonald's. Now you got all your stuff spread out all over because you're living all the time out there in the desert. You don't have everything in your van. You got it outside. You got a tent. You got your cook stove, chairs, other things. You're setting up outside. Are you going to leave your stuff outside while you drive 30 miles to a town to do something or eat at McDonald's? Well, if you're not going to do that, then you're going to repack, throw everything in your van to go get that hamburger at McDonald's. Or you're just going to leave it laying out there because you don't want to pack everything in a van just to go have a hamburger at McDonald's. You're going to leave it out there. If you leave it out there, what about the person who's in their van, their car, next to you? And they see all your stuff laying out there. And they decide, you know what, this would be a good time for me to move. So they take all your stuff that they can get into their van and their car, they put it in there, and they leave never to come back. And you don't know who they are or where they're going. So this is a big problem with living off the grid, in the desert, in the woods, in your van or car. You're just isolated with really nothing to do out there but sit and stare at the woods or the cacti.